Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant, and this is Pillars of Eternity, episode 5. Not sure how much room we got to carry all this stuff, but I'm going to keep taking things while I can. What else have we got? Oh, a ghost. There's so many little things you can miss if you don't watch. So Cadnua is over here, but we can't travel straight there. Looks like it's too far. Maybe, unless we can. Can we? No, we can't. Looks like we'd have to go somewhere else first, but I haven't finished looking around this area just yet. I don't plan on stealing anything else. And you can see there's more history that we can find from the people here if we were to talk with them. No other rooms to go in around there though. The area is so well drawn and so well rendered that it's a shame to just run on, isn't it? At least I feel so. I'd rather take my time playing. Do I read another one? You see a pair of immaculately polished leather boots with an impeccably maintained goatee. Their owner, a slightly hook-nosed man with a wicked grin and narrow eyes. He bobs his feathered hat at a nearby merchant as he ambles by. A small piece of parchment held tight in his fist, ink staining his fingers. He seems to know most of the merchants in the market, stopping to engage some, nodding at others, and even bartering for minor goods with a select few. Always smiling, laughing and exchanging jibes. He approaches a heavy-set Umuna, smile plastered stiff across his face, and jokes about the weather. She jokes back, subtly palming him several gold coins. When he walks away, the paper in his hand is gone, and the smile on his face far more genuine. He tips his cap at her, winking, and trundles off with a new spring in his step. What have you been up to? Plenty of other areas we're going to go in. I'm not going to just run off to the next area. Now we've got a room that is pretty much the same as the previous one, but this time I'm not going to take the book. Ingrid. This man and woman appear to have been in deep conversation and working at close, bulging satchels. They move to embrace until a woman notices your approach. Pauses, her smile faltering a little. Yes, because we've just walked into her house. Can we help you? She looks at her companion, brows furrowing with confusion. Do you know this man, Nonton? Nonton coughs. Yes, I think we met in Valewood. I warned him about the bear. He inclines his head. Glad to see you made it. Was there something else you wanted? You two seem to be in a hurry. You two are in good spirits for people who just lost a friend. Is there anything you can tell me about Gilded Vale? What have they been up to? That's unkind of you to say. I'm grieving my husband in my fashion. I'm only sorry I could not convince him to leave Gilded Vale before this happened. Oh, looks like they may have been having an affair. I'm relieved to be rid of this terrible place, that's all. It cost me the greater part of my life, and now my husband, and I'm glad to be free of it. Or maybe I'm just making assumptions. You in a hurry? Yes, I imagine so. Ingrid laughs. We're packing for a trip. Actually, I've been meaning to visit Defiance Bay, and she looks at Nonton. Well, in truth, I think I've had my fill of this town. Nonton reaches to take her hand. It's time for new scenery, he says. Is there anything you can tell me about the Gilded Vale? Only that you want to be moving on as soon as you can. You'll have seen the tree, I imagine? But the rock goes deeper. If you were looking for work, I'd say you have a better chance of it elsewhere. We're headed for Defiance Bay ourselves. Fair enough. That was the guy that we met at the cart outside of town. The one whose friend died in the bear cave. What's going on up here? We know there's more grain in there, Trumbull. We won't settle for scraps while you grow fat on our crops. A muffled shouting emerges from inside the mill. The first of you drunkards comes through that door, gets a shot between the eyes. Gods hear me, Swainer. I'll put you down like a dog. Come away for now, lads. But we'll be back, Trumbull, and we'll have fair prices, or by the flame we'll have a reckoning. New task against the grain. Investigate the feud. And as you can see, had I moved on to the next town, that is something I would have missed. That's assuming I can move on to the next town already. Can I? Nope, we can't anyway, so we are here for the meantime. Let's go see what's in the middle then. Once I've picked up these mushrooms. Settler's Arrow. An elven man stands before you. Although I could get straight in here and the others couldn't, that's odd. An elven man stands before you. His relatively stocky build suggests a life of labour. His face is pale and drawn, and his eyes wide. Behind him, a younger man and woman exchange worried glances. The miller raises a club. As you enter, it shakes violently in his grip. Get back, if you value your life. Hold on, I'm not here to hurt anyone. Resolve of 14. Requirement not met, that's unfortunate. The miller hesitates and lowers the club a fraction. Who are you? Is Swainer roping foreigners into his little crusade now? What was all that ruckus outside? My name is Granite. I've only just arrived in Gilded Vale. Trumbull shakes his head. You picked a bad time to come visiting. Gilded Vale's had all its shine scraped off. Just a big dung heap now, and Swainer thinks he's king of it. They're all of them mad. So what was that ruckus outside? Where to begin? Swiners whipped them up into a froth. Going on about grain stores, claims I've hidden away most of it. All I do with the grain is sell it. I can't create it out of thin air, and I can't hand it out for free. I pay the farmers for the crops they bring in, and I sell what comes out of the mill. Most of it goes to the Black Hound on the west side of town for ale. And Swainer and his lot sure don't mind that part. You take a look at the fields on the way into town. The crop's blighted, and most of what I'm getting from the farmers, Trumbull gestures to the sacks and the containers, it's gone off, rotted through. I can't pay top prices for blighted wheat, and I've barely got enough good grain to go around. Swainer's howling after things. He has no right to. Maybe I ought to have a talk with Swainer then. Seems like a pretty clean story for a messy situation. No, I believe this guy. The miller all but sags with relief. I'd be grateful if you did. He won't listen to me anymore, but maybe you'll have better luck. Tell him we're all having a hard time of it, and we'll all have to make some sacrifices. We'll be in your debt for it, if you can convince him. Resolve the feud between Trumbull and Swainer. So look at this grain here. A rancid stench arises from this grain. It's mushy and mottled with green. Yucky. Probably not the sort of stuff you want to eat. Again, you know, I'm quite surprised and impressed with the detail on these models here. A lot of detail even on the cloak. Can I talk with anyone else? Din, Keru. Can I talk with this guy? Maybe he'll give us a little bit more about the story. No, he won't. And that's it for this room by the looks of it. So we'll go outside and we'll go find that Swainer guy. Wherever he's located, that is. So have I uncovered this entire area? Nope, there's a few more areas here. Road East, Black Hammer Smithery, Road South, Road West, the Black Hound Inn, Ada. I'll go back and talk to her by the looks of it. Temple of Othus. Othus house and the road north, I guess. Windmill. Where am I? Where have I gone? Let's have a look around the town then. Cow? If you've ever played Divinity, Original Sin, you'll remember that you can actually talk to animals, and you could click on the cows and talk to them and they'd say rather interesting things to you. So yeah, I can actually move on. But I'm not going to do that yet. I want to stay here and resolve the situation in town. It might just be me, but it seems my field of vision is dwindling. What's this? Oh, we got the blacksmithery. Maybe we can get my guy a slightly better sword or something. Although I haven't got a lot of money, I do have a whole bunch of things to sell. Where are we? Let's go and talk to the guy behind the bar. So that guy here in green, looks like I could read his soul as well. So it looks like quite a lot of people I can do that with. And that being the ability of my character, as he is a watcher. This Amura man is of an impressive build, towering above the countertop. His skin is the dusky blue of the deeper oceans, and his thick arms boast corded muscle. Small ears frame a square-jawed face coated in smeared soot and arcane black tattoos alike. He offers a broad smile as you approach. Welcome! You are the first new face I've seen in quite some time. What can I do for you? Is this your shop? That it is. Been here near on 20 years now. Seen all manner of things over the years. Good luck, and bad. He glances at the guard standing watch along the wall, but the Black Hammer smithery remains. So what do you have here? You come to us at a strange time, I'm afraid. The stock's not what it used to be. But we find weapons and armour to offer yet, all forged right here at the Black Hammer. So what happened? We just don't have the supplies. Been expecting the next delivery for near on a week now, and haven't seen a sign of it. Have to expect they were hit by bandits. The road out east is crawling with them. All my workers ran off with the wagon themselves, maybe, to make some coin. As if that lot would dare. He's right about the bandits. The dire situations in the villages like this and the exodus to the cities has created far too many opportunities for unscrupulous sorts. If you happen to be headed that way, maybe you could keep an eye out for the supply wagon, or my shipments at least. They'd be cutting through the Black Meadow, I expect. Only good road for it. As it is, most of our weapons go to His Grace, Lord Rederick. And that's as it should be. He says that after glancing at the guards, but it doesn't leave much for outsiders. We just don't have the iron. Okay, I'll see them back safe and sound. I'll find your supplies. Then you have my thanks. You bring those supplies back, and I'll have plenty more to offer. A discount to start. Oh, and if you find my workers, tell them to hurry up, or they can take up farming instead. So, unfortunate, I've got another quest. Travel to Black Meadow to find the blacksmith supplies, but...
How do you do?
Oh, there, good. Of course, you won't find better elsewhere. I thought for a minute and I wasn't going to be able to talk with him. So, let's have a look at weapons. So, he does have a weapon, but a stiletto doesn't look like... Oh, here's a sword. 13 to 19. I think that's quite a bit better than what Granite's got, isn't it? Scale armour. DR7. Defense rating 7. A ring. Defensive deflection plus 5. But 2,000 coins. very expensive. The sword is potentially something I could buy, but we need to see what sword I've got. 13 to 19. Well, we've already got that sword, but we're going to sell some stuff instead. Let's have have a look at your wares, and we'll have a look what we can sell. Right, there's a guy got a limited amount of money. Nope, we can sell what we like by the looks of it. I'll keep the crossbow. I suppose I should keep the torch and the regular bow. Lockpicks I'm going to keep. What's this? A scepter. A two-handed scepter. Some stilettos. I don't want them. Don't want the clothing. Golden chew. Gold rot chew. I don't know if I need any of that stuff yet. Let's sell the stuff in our stash. Got a huge axe there. Oh, the axe, it does slash as well, so I'm going to keep that. I'll get rid of the shield, and I'll get rid of these hatchets, I think. Rapier, I don't want that. Dagger. Spear. So all that stuff's gone. 130 coins. Not bad. Not bad at all. But he hasn't got anything I would want, I don't think. Let's have a look at armour. Breastplate. 8 defence. Well, I've already got 7, and this has got a recovery speed of minus 40%, so it seems a bit high. Let's leave here then. I think. Nothing else here. Certainly don't want to be stealing things. Back out into the world we go. Ah, it's now rain. Look at the raindrops falling off the tiles of the roof there. Nice little touch. Quite atmospheric, isn't it? So where is it we need to go then? So we got the choice of the Old Watcher, the Smith's Shipment. The Old Watcher, Spirit of Caldara di Baranzi, one of the Lord's Rhetoric's unfortunate victims, has directed me towards Caidanu. Now, I keep pronouncing those differently each time I probably say them, but hopefully you can just put up with that and just laugh it off. It's just how I read these things. So, visions and whispers. After surviving an explosion outside the ruins of Silent Bliss, I experienced a vision. Find a dwarf woman, we know that. So they're all done. So, travel to the Black Meadow against the grain. So, yes, we've still got to find Swiner, haven't we? Wherever he may be, let's say. He fears bringing to an end. Swiner is likely to be in the inn, and that's what I suspected. I think I've pretty much been all around this area now, haven't I? I was going to say with the only exception of here, but no, I did go there because I bumped off the poor people that lived there. Did that have an effect on my reputation? No, it is still benevolent, funnily enough. I'm going to go down there though before long. I want to have a look and see what that's all about. Back to the inn then. I wonder if it'll result in a fight, or if we can resolve the situation. It'd be nice if we could resolve it without conflict, wouldn't it? So is Swiner in here? I don't see him.
I shall be discreet.
What did I do? Press control. There's a little dwarf. There he is. He's a dwarf, is he?
Good day, stranger.
Don't know who you are, and don't much care. Keep walking. We're not here to chat with foreigners. Aloth narrows his eyes, careful. Looks like they're cut from the same cloth as those rowdies who attacked me. He wrinkles his nose. Smells like it too. Trumbull says you've been threatening his family. I saw you outside of the mill. What was all that about? What, someone fancies themselves a meddler, eh? What about that? It's about Trumbull thinking he's king of the town on account of he's got the mill to his name. The dwarf's jowls quiver with rage. It's about him barely giving us anything for the wheat we bring him, and then cutting our purses when we need to buy grain. It's about farmers going hungry while some bastard gets rich off their crops. That's what it's about. Now shove off. Trumbull says you've been threatening his family. Maybe I could go talk to him for you. What are you doing in here then? What if I buy you all around? Will you talk to me then? He considers it briefly, then looks to the others. Fair enough. You bring us something to wet our throats, and might be I'll feel up to trading words. Okay, so
Greetings.
let's go see if we can get the guys a drink.
Good day, stranger.
Hello again. Anything I can do for you? We still have rooms open, and it's never too early for a drink. I'd like to buy a round of drink for the fine fellows over there. Fine fellows? You have me on, and any more fighting and I'll have to ban Swainer from the inn entirely. The innkeeper frowns. Until then it's 6 copper pieces for the loot. Give 6 copper pieces, here you go. Can't we skip the payment? It's for a good cause. Here you go. It's only 6 copper. Right then, here, 3 drinks for 3 fools. Just take care with them, they're a hot-tempered bunch. Indeed. Now let's talk to the guy again.
God's
You again?
key.
What do you want? I bought those drinks. Hey, so you have. By the flame, I never thought I'd be so happy for a mug of the Blackhound's shit beer. Gods, that's good. All right then, you've got my attention. What is it you've got to say that's worth a round of drinks? Look, there's no sense in threatening the miller. You have him up against a wall. Maybe you could ask some of the other villagers for help. Maybe you could tell me about what's going on. You're a drunken menace and I'm putting you down. I'd like to have resolve up higher, but obviously not. That would have been quite a good option to have had. The amount of times it's actually been present. Let's ask him what's going on. It's like I said, the miller's in charge of the grain prices. He says they're fair, but I know for a fact that folks like Afra pay half what we do. The dwarf sighs. And maybe we've been through a bit rough with him. But what are we supposed to do? We can't keep paying. We're going to starve. Do you think Trumbull's going to be sorry about it when we do? Shall we go talk to Trumbull again? Ha! You think you'll get through to him when we haven't? The man's thick as peat bog. I hear he's got his soul red. Found his skin used to grow sonry trees for their Adrian lords, up until they figured out their side was losing. Explains why his knees still ache to bend on to whatever lord or lady crosses the road. He'll be holed up in that mill for days, the coward. The dwarf eyes you consideringly. But here, if you want to give it a shot, then good luck. We'll owe you one if you manage it. You see the light having changed there to moon glow, as it's now night time. So we can possibly resolve this one without any conflict and without any particularly special dialogue options, and that would be quite interesting. What's this? Looks like some nightshade or equivalent. Bereth spell. That was the mill up here, wasn't it? There it is. I'm going to have to have a look in a minute at Aloth's abilities, because that's not something I've actually had a look at yet. He's got very low health compared to Granite, but that's possibly because he's a wizard, a second level wizard at that. So yes, worth keeping in mind. We'll have a look at his abilities if we can in a bit. Here we go. Let's go and talk to the guy again. Where's he gone? Oh, there he is. Well, there's 3 of them. So I guess any of these could potentially end up with combat, couldn't it?
Hello.
I had more questions about the whole situation. Tumble breathes a short life. What's to explain? It's not very complicated. I can't pay top prices for blighted wheat, and I've barely got enough good grain to go around. Swiner's howling after things he has no right to. So basically the other guy is trying to sell junk wheat for top prices, and this guy here Trumbull doesn't want to pay top prices, and quite rightfully so if the wheat is low. Was there anything else?
Good day to you.
I spoke to Swiner, and what? He says you're actually treating the farmers unfairly, raising prices and giving them rotten grain. Of course he does. He's been saying nothing else for days now. The man's delusional. If he wants grain, he'll have to pay for it. Grab the miller by the neck. If you ever want to breathe again, you may want to reconsider. What's going on here anyway? Where to begin? Swiner's whipped him up into a froth. Yeah, we know all that. I have no more questions. Seems like a pretty clean story for a messy situation. It's not. He pauses. Look, Swiner's always been a rotten bastard. With stores so limited, maybe I save the good stuff for people who deserve it. Alpha, for instance. She's expecting a child. Should I let her starve instead? What do the villagers know about the grain supply? Trumbull looks embarrassed. Some. The innkeeper, for instance. It's better not to worry anyone. I'll be trading for supplies soon enough if we can just keep things calm. Until then, we'll be in the clear. So you are choosing who you want to give the good wheat to. I wouldn't drink the ale, is all I'm saying. I have no more questions. Was there anything else?
God's
No, I'll
keep
be
you.
back in a bit. Let's go talk to the innkeeper then, and see if she will tell us anything. Wherever she was. We're going to take the other way around this time by the looks of it. Where's that inn? It was down here, wasn't it? Into the inn. Let's follow our heroes along. So it's still a lot of people out in these wee hours of the night. I wonder who this is up there. So this ale tastes funny to you. So something is going on there. Definitely the innkeeper is buying the rubbish wheat and the rubbish grain and turning that into rubbish ale. I wonder if Swiner even knows.
Hello.
Again. Anything I can do for you? Instead of rooms and a drink, I'd like to hire some help. So we can't actually talk to her about the wheat. That's unfortunate. But you know, although he might be holding back the wheat, he's got a good point, hasn't he? Giving the grain to the people who perhaps deserve it. Listen, there's no sense in threatening the miller. You have him up against the wall. Maybe you could ask some of the other villagers for help. Swiner eyes you for a few long moments, drinking deep from his mug. Then he sighs. You're right. If things go on like they are, we're just going to end up hanging from that tree out there. He looks to his comrades. Tell Trumbull we'll leave him be. Don't know what we'll do now, with the crops failing. Haven't got another trade to speak of. Think Pasca needs a hand around the inn. Report to Trumbull. Well, that's ended that. I guess Trumbull is the one who does okay for it. I wonder how much good grain he has got to spare though. A bit of a shame if he was hoarding it and letting the villagers suffer for that. Although he did say he's giving it to those who he deems worthy, but Who gave him the right to decide that? I'd like to know. Perhaps he gave it to himself simply by virtue of the fact he holds the grain. But whatever, the situation is just about resolved, I guess. In we go, and we'll tell him the good news. I guess that'll make him happy, unless we find out some other facts. Trumbull,
Good day to you.
not a curt greeting. You're back. Have you had any luck? Yes, I spoke to him. And what did he say? I've convinced him to leave your family in peace. Why? That's great news. I wasn't sure you'd get through to him. They're out of their minds with drink half of the time. I owe you a great debt. Here. He pulls a coin purse from his hip and pushes it toward you. Today's earnings to show my appreciation, and you can be sure I'll let everyone know what you've done for me. Keep it. You're having a hard enough time. Glad to help. That's really all you can afford after I saved your family. I'm going to be altruistic and tell him to keep it. You're a generous soul, friend, and we'll have you to thank for making it through this coming year. Safe travels, and may you find favour with the gods. Against the grain. Task completed. So, one more quest down, and we move ever onwards, deeper into the world of Pillars of Eternity. And that is it for this episode. We will resume from here in the next part. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time. This has been Obsidian Ant, signing off. You saw in here are the binary signs right behind the station itself, which of course cast the station into shadow. Area, one of the best systems I've so far visited. There are a few stations elsewhere that are much closer to the sun than this. They're all good. Maybe we can find one of those.